Welcome to Coast View, a show that every single day celebrates the men and women who are making coastal Mississippi such an amazing place to live, work, and play. This show is about talking to the people that are working in the trenches in so many different ways to make this such a great place to live. And man, it takes 1,000 points of light. It takes a lot of people working together to create this wonderful place we live in. The number of people who are working in the trenches, as I say a lot, some of them you know, some of them you don't know. But the number of people working in the trenches to make this a great place is so impressive. And the opportunity I have had over 800 conversations here on Coast View over the last 3 years to really shine the light on them and learn from them, it's been great. It's been something I didn't get a chance to do when I was a publisher of a newspaper. I didn't have the chance to focus on one person for 24 hours and think about, what their accomplishments were, et cetera. But it's been great. And the engagement at Facebook, because you get a lot of numbers from Facebook, the engagement at Facebook continues to grow significantly. And I really appreciate you paying attention. It makes a big difference, not because me, because it's a celebration of coastal Mississippi, and I see people sort of being part of that in a big way now. It's taken 3 years to get to this point, and we're proud of where we are, and we look to continue to grow. Someone that I really enjoy visiting with on a regular basis is Bill Lavers. And Bill is the executive director of the Harrison County Development Commission, and there's a lot going on at the Harrison County Development Commission. We'll remind you what that is, but without any further ado, let me just welcome my friend Bill back to Coast View. How you doing, my friend?
Thank you. Thanks for the first time in 2023. It's been a little while.
It has been. Listen, before we go too much further, I know you well. You give a lot of credit to your team. You're a team guy. So, the commission that has sort of says grace over strategy and sort of overseeing the work, but you have a staff that works very closely with you. You give them a lot of credit. But I saw recently that you were awarded in Jackson a CEO award and from the Mississippi Business Journal. And I just wanted to say congratulations to you. I can already guess what you're going to say in response to that, but I still wanted to congratulate you, my friend.
Well, there's part of me wants to put it, see this, I've got these Mardi Gras with the money sign. I want to attach that and come in with some theme music like Fofo does when he does the State of the City, wearing my award, but that's not really me. So it's really about the members of my team, the commissioners, the relationships that I've built since I've been here, for the 5 years that I've been here. It goes, I think it's 1,000,000 points of light, not 1,000 points of light.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all teamwork. It's, I'm grateful to be recognized, but it's not me. And we'll talk about this in a little bit, but I'm the tip of the iceberg. There are a whole lot of people that support me, my wife, my kids, my team, my commissioners, the supervisors. It takes a lot to get, and we talk about this a lot. Nobody's thinking about Gulfport or Biloxi or D'Iberville or Pass Christian or Long Beach in Atlanta or Austin or, Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we have to fight our way into the ring, and it takes a village to do that. So I'm thankful for the award, but there's a whole lot more behind that award than just me. So,
hey, Bill, you've got a great board of commissioners. I know virtually every one of them. And just before the show started, I got to say hello to Mark Schlogel, and terrific member of the board. You can say what he was there for, but we got a chance to visit slightly, or just for a short period of time. And of course, I worked very closely with his dad, George, in the community before Katrina in a big way, and then certainly big time after Hurricane Katrina. But in order to accomplish what you guys have accomplished, you got to have a supportive board of commissioners. That is key, isn't it?
It is. And we meet, at least twice a month, if not more. And, we put on the calendar, we're going to meet for an hour, and we've never met for an hour. It's always longer than that. We cover a lot of ground. Today I had several of them: Wendy, Brian, Jimmy, Frankie, James, and Mark, we had an engineering and marketing committee meeting. And as soon as I told them I was going to be on the radio with you, if they wanted to stick around, you wouldn't believe how fast they got out of here. They were like, no, we're gone. See you. So no, I'm just kidding. Mark had to hang around and print something while he was here. But yeah, and the thing I appreciate about all of them, I guess one of my newest members, I don't know if we've talked since this, but my newest member is from Pass Christian, Ollie Bailey, who's a State Farm agent. So there's a commercial for him. Great guy. He's kind of a sort of a legacy. His father-in-law was on the Development Commission back in the 90s when Frankie Castiglia first started on the commission. So we've got some younger people connected, which is great. And we kind of all pull the rope in the same direction. I have ideas. They have ideas. Together we put them together and see what we can come up with. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to make Harrison County a better place for business, to attract business, to take care of the business we've already got. And it's just there's a lot going on. We talk about that all the time, but this year, I don't know why 2023 has been like this, but I guess I've got some new board members. I've got new officers. Frankie was no longer able to be by bylaws the chairman, so Billy Thornton stepped in. So I started writing stuff down. When you write down what we do, I'm like, oh my gosh, my wife was a school teacher for years, and she used to have to do lesson plans, or she had to plan out what she was going to do like every 20 minutes of the day. And when you really do that for people that do a lot of stuff, I don't know how teachers get anything done when they're, with all the variables that they have. I really appreciate them. But when I started writing down how we get something approved, all the projects we're working on, I mean, my little summary was 4 pages of all the projects. And then I turned it into a visual, one PDF slide of some of the things. But I have to remind the commissioners, because we move so many pieces at the same time, what this is, what that, we talk about, we've got a spoil area. Well, what does that mean? Well, I went out there and stood on a mound of dirt that's 15 feet in the air and did a video so they could see that's what the spoil area is. This is what the cells look like. There's, borees moving material, and we've got to stay ahead of them. And that's just one of our projects. So there's a lot going on, and we're appreciative and thankful for everybody's time and input. One thing before we go to the next topic is yesterday I participated in the DECA, whatever it was, regional. I was a judge, and seeing those kids, and there was I think my first student was, I told him, I said, look, breathe, just pretend I'm your grandmother, grandfather. Let's just have a conversation. Pretend I'm Ricky Matthews on Coast View. Just relax. It's okay. Didn't work. But, and I'm in there, I'm looking at the case study, and this one little boy that he looked like he was like 8 years old, but I guess he was in high school. And he convinced me, he got second. And he was probably one of the shyest kids that had entered that room that day. But he convinced me why that price needed to go up on that soft drink, which is what their case was. So, it's not only what we do here at the office, it's what we do out in the community, not just what I do, but all the members of my team and my commissioners, and the time that my commissioners spend here listening to me run on about deals and stuff. So it's really important, and it's really time consuming, to get all these things done.
Hey, just a couple of quick points. First of all, your chairman, Billy Thornton, I've known him for many, many years, watched his career evolve at Mississippi Power, what he's learned along the way about how the legislature works, and the complexities of Mississippi. To have a chairman who has his insights and his history and his knowledge has got to be terrific, because the political spectrum is the way most things play out in the state, and you got to be smart about it. You have to be really smart about it. And I often refer to it as sort of like peeling back the onion. You peel back a couple of layers and you think you've understood it, and then you've only just begun to understand it, because the complexities of all these relationships and the way the cities and regions across the state compete with one another. And it's complex. It's good to have someone like Billy in that position.
And Frankie Frankie did a lot of the same things, and they've all Wendy, James, they've all taught me a lot about, I just like doing deals and helping customers and getting things done. And the politics aren't my favorite part of the equation, but they've coached me well, and I'm getting better. And we're, they're part of the team too. We've got to get things, we've all got to work together to compete against all the other places and people we're competing against.
Well, the Harrison County Development Commission has a bunch of different roles. Managing industrial parks, there's a utility sort of management aspect to it. There's an economic development aspect to it. It's multifaceted. The point that you made about outreach to children and the opportunity to get kids, especially in high school, engaged is really important, actually. You think about the brain drain that we're dealing with, and you and I have had many conversations about that. When we come back on the other side, we'll find out the latest. What's the burning platform at the Harris County Development Commission these days? We'll see after this. As I was sitting here in my conversation with Bill Lavers as we went to the break, I got a notice, and the notice was from Apple Podcasts. We want to be wherever people are. So it's in podcast platforms. Obviously, it's in YouTube on multiple channels there. It's in Facebook, of course. But this one was a notification of the conversation that I had with Senator Jeremy England last week. And then, of course, Robbie D'Angelo and Jace Payne and Kelly Devine and Christian Hartley and Tish Williams and Mark Glorioso and Jeff Duncan and Todd Trenchard and Amanda Ray and Moby Solange and Matt Buckley, and the list goes on and on and on. But you can go to your favorite podcast platform. I like to use Spotify. That's the one I use the most. But you'll get notices, and you can listen to the show that way if that's the way you prefer to listen. So anyway, Bill, when we went to break, we were talking about the Harrison County Development Commission, but you guys have to hit on a lot of cylinders. There's a industrial development part of what you do, industrial management part of what you do, utilities management, and so on. The economic development is an important part of it, but it's not the only thing you do. You're sort of in the land business, the industrial land business. How do you, when you giving someone sort of an elevator speech about what you guys are up to, how do you talk about it?
Really, that's a tough thing. My wife asks me all the time, how do I tell people what you do? And I tell her, well, we help the businesses that are already here grow, and we try to bring new businesses to town. And a lot of people talk about, I can't even think of what it's called, core functions or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're breathing and you want to do business in Harrison County and you want to talk, let's talk. I met with a guy yesterday that one of my commissioners, Warren Conway, brought. This guy is a fraternity brother of his. He started a new hot sauce company, and he didn't really need anything other than just a conversation about, hey, this is what I'm doing. And the irony was I had, I don't eat a lot of hot sauce, but some of my team does. So I was like, hey, Laura, you like hot sauce? She's like, oh, I already know that. So I bought some of that. And this guy's selling it at like festivals and stuff. He's not, at Walmart or anything. It's why he wanted to talk to me. But so I introduced Lori to the guy, and I was like, here's one of your customers right here, and apparently this stuff is awesome because everybody loves it. So I connected him with Ginger Williamson at the state to get into the Mississippi Made program and put a lot of those, those pieces together.
Do you remember the name of his hot sauce?
Hang on.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know that. There's a company up in the Mississippi Delta. I think Sharon Hot Sauce is the name of it. What's the name of it?
Holy Fire.
Holy Fire.
It started because he was at home with the pandemic, and he started growing his own peppers and making his own sauce, and it's just taken off. So he wants to know how to get to the next. Didn't need a building, isn't going to create any jobs. We had a really good conversation, and we want to help him grow his business. He doesn't even live here; he lives in Hattiesburg.
Hey, but you know what's interesting, Bill? What's interesting about that, though, is that you planted a seed. It's hot sauce now, but it might be computers next. You never know. As the entrepreneurs develop these core competencies around entrepreneurship, then their mind starts to grow and the possibilities start to grow, and then you don't know where that's going to head. I mean, you're in the business of planting seeds in that way.
Well, and in a lot of cases, everybody thinks, oh, we need the 1,000 job, we need this facility. But to me, that conversation that I had yesterday with that kid at DECA, actually, it wasn't even a conversation,
Yeah.
but watching him maybe blossom and get a little lift up. Talking to that business owner yesterday, he didn't ask me for anything, just my advice, basically. And so I learned YouTube. I went on YouTube and I drew this iceberg. I watched a YouTube video on how to draw an iceberg for a PowerPoint because I'd asked some of my interns to do it, and it just never got done. So I did it as part of that assignment, kind of for Billy and the rest of the commissioners to really make them understand, there are a lot. We talk, you guys are paying attention, maybe you're on your phones, but we got 12 commissioners. We meet over 30 times a year. Each commissioner is appointed by a supervisor, a mayor, or a governor. We always talk about that on the show. So right now, and this is a week old, so it's changed. We have 18 active projects, 14 expansions, and 4 new businesses. We have 10 employees that do that work. We have 5 years in a row, we've had profitability, which is important. We don't run a charity, and we've had a 10 to 20% profit margin every year that I've been here. We have 5 active railroad projects between $6 and $8 million on the railroad that we brought back that had been wasn't operational. We have 3 appointees to the governor's Mississippi Defense Community Development Council. So that we appointed Commander Whitmire from the CB base, who's a retired commander, Mike Leonard, who's a commissioner, former Marine. He represents Keesler. And then I represent Andy Radcliffe and newly minted Colonel Kirby at the CRTC at Gulfport. We have the C-Force program. We talked before the break about young people and interns. So we have over 38 active students in the C-Force intern program where we pay for them to be working in the job that they think they want to do after high school. We've got workforce training with partners like MGCCC, SMPDD, and Accelerate Mississippi. We also Marcia runs the Foreign Trade Zone meeting. We just had our annual meeting last week. Sean Tyndall came and was the speaker. And so we do the accounting for that. And we also run the Coastal Partnership, which has about 40 ambassadors they go out into the community and just talk about what a great place this is. And not all of them are from here. Most of them, probably 80% of them, aren't from Mississippi. So they love telling our story. And then we have 15 water and sewer projects ongoing, and we have about 380 customers. And, every time we sell a piece of land, that's a new water customer to us too. So generating a lot of revenue. And since Jason Gibson's been on my team, that department has really had a dramatic turnaround. It's profitable. We're building our own streets. We're doing our own water and sewer. We've got guys that we can go rent the equipment and do the work to save our money and taxpayer money to accomplish things that we otherwise would have paid people a lot of money to do. So those guys just put in, we just connected Plant Watson to our water system for the first time in the history of Plant Watson. So my guys put in about 1,200 feet of water pipe and connected it and got all the approvals from DEQ and all those things. And in the process, we saved both entities over $100,000 doing it. My guys were proud to do it. They took ownership. They love building stuff. They love getting creative, and I love watching them do those things. So what,
Bill, when I drive through, this may be true of the other industrial parks, but when I drive through the Harrison County Industrial Park, the thing I note is that there's been a lot of building going on, and big new buildings, things that are under construction as we speak. That's been sort of the way of the world at that particular industrial park, hasn't it?
And we could say the same. Long Beach is not, on everybody's, path every day, I guess is the best way to say it. Yeah. But we've had a lot of growth in Long Beach as well. But we're seeing a little bit because of the economy and interest rates and other things. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown, but thankfully things are slowing, but they're not stopping and they're not canceling. So we're still sending a lot of things up to the Board of Supervisors for approval. We're we're keeping our foot on the gas instead of the brake, and we've got a new project that we just found out about last week that I'm ready to just, Brandy's like, no, calm down, slow down, but it's super cool. Can't really talk about it, but
you always give these kind of projects that you can't talk about unique names. What's the name of this one?
We let the customer. So this is direct with the customer. It came through MDA. We had a call with them, and we let them name their project. So their code name is MS Wild, Mississippi Wild, and they're based up north and where it's snowing. So we're like, hey, come on down, come for Mardi Gras, and so they didn't really take me up as fast as I thought. So they're probably going to come the end of February, but it's, it's a small business. It's grown a lot. It's a big investment. It's a lot of technology. It's a lot of jobs. It's super cool, and I hope we get it. But you just don't know. My world, I can't count. Buc-ee's. We'll talk about that for just a second. I don't count Buc-ee's until I can walk in and buy beaver nuggets. And I drove past one in Auburn a couple of weekends ago and texted my guy and said, hey, I sure wish this was us, because Auburn's about to open. Now, Auburn was the reverse of us. They had an interchange that was already built 20 years ago when I was a banker in Auburn. They built the interchange hoping somebody would come, and they finally got somebody. Ours is the reverse. We have to build the interchange, and we know who's coming. So that's still probably, people are going to be tired of talking about Buc-ee's by the time you can walk in and buy the beaver nuggets. But the finish line is buying that first bag of beaver nuggets or beef jerky for me.
It won't be long, that's for sure. But Bill, we're kind of out of time for today, but we will continue this conversation in the real near future. We're not going to let such a gap get in the way, and we'll continue to sort of draw down on that to-do list. And it's exciting to see you guys accomplishing a lot. So please pass my congratulations on to your board of commissioners and to your team, and we'll look forward to chatting with you soon, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
We'll see you after this break.